Hey everyone, thank you for stopping by Living To Do's review of Married at First Sight, Season 17, Episode 9, called Wigging Out. Before I get started with the review, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. I would really appreciate it, and I thank you in advance. So let's get started with this particular episode. And let's start off with Becca and Austin. Basically, this episode, the couples are having friends over. So let's start off with Becca and Austin. I think they went out to, no, they had friends over. They had friends over, not too much to say about them. Everyone seems to get along. Everybody is, they get along with each other's friends. No tension. Not really much issues. They discuss, I think it was Becca discussed with Austin's friend about religion. I'm not sure if we're going to have an issue with Austin having a problem with Becca's religion. I know she's Jewish, so I thought he wouldn't have an issue, but it seems like we're building up to something. Maybe we're going to hear about his maybe an issue that he might be having with it. Though no, that wasn't him. That was somebody else. Um, yeah, so we'll have to wait to see what's on that. And the only thing I noticed here is they did have their party, and after the party, they were in the kitchen, and Austin seemed to be doing all of the cleaning, and Becca was just sitting there eating the biggest slice of pizza. Uh, in every shot, they just showed him cleaning the counter. It's just he was busy cleaning, and she was busy eating. But that's about it. There was really nothing to say. I mean, I'm not sure if he's really into her, if he's just playing for the cameras, but if he is, he's a good actor. Um, so there's nothing else. Let's go on to Lauren and Orion. And they just kind of pretty much had an update with them. They met with friends and family to discuss the debacle that is their relationship. And Orion met with a friend. He's told the friend he lost romantic interest in his wife. He told his family what happened, the issues that made him feel this way. They were disappointed, of course. Um, and then Lauren met with her family, I believe, and she's trying to do the best that she can. She's hurt. They're both hurt. She's handling her pain with humor. And I think, okay, that's, to me, that's the best possible way to get through something, I believe. I don't know if everybody else believes that, but humor works. Is there a better way to process? I don't know. Um, Her family affirmed to her that she was not a failure because she believed that she was a failure. She's at fault for what has um, taken place. And I think her family was very kind of supporting her, verbally anyway. Um, but in the next episodes, in the coming episodes, they see Lauren crying and, I mean, going to the floor and crying. So I don't want this season to be us watching Lauren hurting in pain um, for the remainder of the season, because that wouldn't be cool. So I don't know what's going to happen there. But that is really all that happened with that particular couple. Okay, let's go on to the next. Okay, the next couple will be Emily and Brennan. Emily met with her friend Sophie, and she had a real honest conversation with Sophie about her relationship with Brennan and how, she really wants it to work. She's her first relationship. Things are rocky. She wants him to give it a chance, and that she's excited about moving in. She thinks it's a good thing for them to get back on track and maybe see where this relationship can honestly go. Emily has shown herself to be a good sport all around. always giving second chances, looking at the bright side of things. I really like her. And I think I really like her better when she doesn't drink, but when she's not drinking, she's just a pleasant person. Just so cute and just sweet and just chipper and has a great attitude. He is so lucky to have a person like that in his life. Maybe not as a wife, but a friend or something. I don't really see anything wrong with her other than possible over drinking. They had a party and together they thought of their theme for the party, which I don't know what the theme was necessarily, but you had to wear a wig. So they went wig shopping and they got all these different color wigs. And Brennan put his on. And I think once he put that wig on, I don't think I saw him without it. He had it on till the end of the episode. He had this blonde short wig. He looked like a beetle. Uh, it was cute. They had a good time. I think it's kind of when you don't know people, maybe it's a good way to have a good icebreaker and kind of let your walls down a little bit. One thing they bought for their party, well, Emily bought, were these tiny hands. And they put them on the counter. I don't know what you do with that. Why would you need that? It was so creepy looking. Of course, Emily is always a good sport. They moved into their shared apartment and she brought in so much stuff. He brought in hardly anything, but he didn't help her bring in the stuff. It wasn't just her stuff, it was stuff for you guys to share, like plates and whatnot, things for the house. And she's dragging this stuff in. And remember, she has, I believe, a broken arm or broken hand. And you're not assisting her in any way, not even taking over, just doing. That's not a good sign. That's not a good partner. I I don't like this dude. I don't like the way he operates. I don't like the way he moves. Um and when her friends came over, they're all in the kitchen and talking and uh they they noticed that he wasn't helping her out in the kitchen is enough. They didn't think he was taking things out the oven. They did show him a flashback of him taking things out the oven. When these girls sat down, they went outside and talked with him. They noticed that and they mentioned that to him. I guess Emily mentioned how she carried all her stuff in the house. They mentioned that to him that you're not there for her. You're not you're not her backbone. And then he made a comment about, well, if this was real life, it's real life. And even if it wasn't real life, there's still a real person with a broken hand that you didn't assist. You being the man in the situation and letting her drag in things like that for your use too. Real life or not, that's so inconsiderate. That's the kind of person you are. That just shows your character. You're those kind of men that sit down, watch sports while the women cook, clean, take care of the kids, work, and you don't lift your hand and you want to know when dinner is. That's the kind of man I see him as. He's a problem. I see him being very problematic. Uh, and then one of the friends told him, one of Emily's friends told him that she doesn't think he has the emotional capacity for this relationship, for this process, and thought she nailed it because he doesn't. And this woman has known you, what, a couple hours, if that? And she can already see who you are, what you are. You're just, oh, he's no good. I don't think this man is any good. I don't know why he did this process. And he doesn't want to get divorced. That's a big thing with him. He doesn't want to get divorced because nobody in his family got divorced. So you're the kind of person that won't get divorced but live miserably for the rest of your life just so you can say you didn't get divorced. I don't know what Emily will say about that, but mm, I don't know. Let that one go. I don't. I just really wish better for Emily. I wish they got her a better person because she's a great, great. It seems like a really great girl. Her friends, one was okay. One of them was such a valley girl. Oh, to the 10th power. Though she did make a comment that she thinks that Brennan is being super resistant. True. I see that as well. So they nailed him what he is, and it wasn't hard for them to do either. But, well, I wish the best for Emily, but let's go on to the final couple. Final couple is Cameron and Claire. So, Cameron and Claire, they're out at Cameron's bicycle shop called Broken Carbon. And Claire comes to visit, and she goes inside, and she's asking him questions. She's looking all around. Oh, do you ever get bored of this? Do you get bored of your job? She was just doing these little jabs. And if you like somebody, you wouldn't do that. She does this every episode. I see her doing these little comments to him. And I think he's probably noting that, but not saying anything because he's trying to keep it even kill. He's doing the best to work on the relationship and get her to like him, and so he's not going to say anything when she makes these little comments. And I don't like that on her. I just wish she would stop. And that's one of the things I think she mentioned last week. If something bothers you, tell her right away. And I think what he's doing is seeing how much he can take of it. Maybe she can self-correct and stop it, and then this might something he might blow about. And I can see that happening because he's being nice, and she should know better. Though he works on these bikes like a scientist. He has multiple degrees. I don't know if you need degrees to work on a bike, but he owns the shop. She's kind of impressed about him owning a business because she's a therapist. I guess that's more of a career. Uh, it looks better on a resume, I guess, instead of bicycle shop owner. But he does do it, and he does enjoy it, and that's great. He can fix things, but the way she is, oh my goodness. So they had their party. They had friends come over, and actually he had no friends come over. Claire's friends came over, about three of them, and they're all therapists. The one lady comes in and she's talking to Cameron, trying to get to know him better, and Claire is there, and she's asking, how does your family feel about this arranged marriage situation? And he mentions that his father doesn't know because he's on his deathbed. And this is news to Claire. She didn't know that. She's finding out in front of, company that her husband's father is dying. Um, and she wonders why didn't he say anything? And at first I thought maybe she didn't ask because she's so, I don't know, she's kind of not into him, so maybe that's why she didn't ask. But they showed a flashback that she asked, where's your family? And he did mention they were back in New Zealand and they couldn't make it. And his hope was to have a wedding in New Zealand so they could be a part of it, which was sweet. So she did ask. Then I think maybe it wasn't the time to tell her out on her wedding day, something like that. But you spent a week with her now, so at some point maybe you should have gotten around to it, or she could have been more inquisitive about your family. I don't know why that didn't come up between the two of them. Interesting. And later, Claire's male friends took Cameron outside and they talked, and it was a really good conversation. They were both therapists, and I really think he had a real therapy session with them. So it wasn't really party atmosphere, but they had a nice conversation. Uh, I think they could like Cameron. Now, one thing that happened was Cameron, they were all together, all the whole party, their friends that came over, and he did something that Claire thought that Cameron did something that she didn't like or something like that. And one of the friends made a comment, oh, strike one. And Cameron said, he's on the second hand of strikes. Oh, so what do we get out of that? They know her. They know her. So I don't. But they don't. I don't know if they know her personal side with a relationship with a male, a man in her life, how she acts. Um, but maybe they know she's picky and um, nitpicky and that type of person. But Cameron is telling this to her friends. I just thought, ouch, ouch. That makes the impression that it's not going very well. Um, I just thought that was kind of interesting. Um, and I really don't know how it's going on. I don't. When Cameron mentioned his dad was on his deathbed, Claire didn't go over and console him in any way, like give him a hug or, you know, it. She said something like, "Oh, that's hard to deal with. But not very compassionate." I don't know what kind of therapy or therapist she is, but she really doesn't show empathy or compassion to him. And I don't know if she sees her way. She can't see herself and how she's acting, but maybe her friend can tell her, maybe you should have gone over there or, said something that was a little bit more heartfelt. I don't know about these two. I just don't know about Claire. I think she's the problem in this relationship so far. This season is interesting. Not a lot of hoopla and not all that shenanigans. We're getting into a lot of interpersonal relationship issues, and some might find it boring. But if you sit down and think about it and dissect a little bit, it is rather interesting. So this season is more interesting than I thought it would be. But that is it for now. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. I would really appreciate it. And I thank you in advance. But I gotta go because I got living to do. Bye.